In this week's episode of Critical Role, Belle's Hells finally make it to Yios, behave badly in a casino, and FCG faces an old nemesis. Hi everyone, my name is Luna, and I don't normally do this at the top of the video, but we're almost at 15,000 subscribers. It would be wonderful to reach that goal by the end of the year, so if you're a regular viewer, which YouTube tells me a lot of you are, and you're not subscribed, it would be wonderful if you could, and if you're new here, I hope you stick around and enjoy the video. As predicted last week, the level ups went where I thought they would. Chetney took another level in Blood Hunter, Laudna took another level in Sorcerer, and Fern, well, it's actually unclear what Fern took. She rolled a D8 in the leveling up video, but rogues and druids both have a D8 for their hit die, and she didn't say which one it was for. I don't think it was made clear in this week's episode which one she went with, but if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. We pick up with the party following a long rest and their naked run through the jungle. Imogen inquires if Chetney is now an official member of the Gorgony, but they say nope, he has to train for a little bit longer before he can call himself that, but he is an ally of the group. So it seems like he will have to come back to do that sort of like weeks-long intensive training if he does want to be an official member. Annalene comments on something that I commented on last week. I was a little confused as to the purpose or the nature of the trial.
It looks like the evening's trial was as effective as any of us could have hoped. I feel like it was less for you and more for your compatriots. To know what they're dealing with, understand when someone carries something dark within them that they have a hard time fighting. Sometimes the responsibility lies on those who are closest to them to know how to guide them and work with the challenge they carry. So, I'd say you all passed the trial.
A lot of you actually echoed this sentiment in the comments, so kudos to you. Chetney says that he will make his friends proud, and while there will always be times where he might come close to losing it, that he will do his best to keep it under control and to be responsible to them. Some nice little character growth there. Imogen messages Captain Xandus on the skyship asking for a pickup, and while they're waiting, they are having breakfast with the Gorgony who are preparing it, and FCG asks if he can kind of get in with the preparations to watch and to learn.
I'm gonna watch them cook. I want to learn how to cook. I can't eat, but I want to learn how to cook.
That's like, all right, go on, pay attention. You got yourself a small blade? Teach you how to clean it. All right, yeah, just make sure you point it away.
I think that this might be pointing to FCG having taken the chef feat. It's a really fun feat. One of the characters in my home game actually has it. Basically what it is you get a raise to your constitution or your wisdom score, you get proficiency with cook's utensils, and what you can do is anytime you have a short rest, you can spend time preparing food for your party. At the end of a short rest, any creature who eats the food and rolls a hit die also gets an extra D8 of healing, so it's like a little extra buff for other party members. Plus, you can also make special treats which can be eaten as a bonus action which give you temporary hit points. I think this is such an interesting choice for a feat for FCG. It really ties in well with his other sort of therapeutic abilities. And I can't wait for all the fan art of FCG in like a little chef's outfit. Of course, this is still speculation, but I think it's further backed up by FCG then on the skyship taking some time to prepare Estros's maple ginger cookies. This recipe was of course just recently released as part of the announcement of Critical Role's new cookbook. I am so excited about that. You can absolutely bet I'm going to be making some cooking videos from that book. And I actually made these cookies on stream on Twitch. It was super fun and they were very delicious. Orym spends some time training with his new blade.
He goes off to the side and begins to move through the steps of the Zephiratom with this new blade and gets to know it for a while, and he starts slow and then it gets quicker and quicker, and at a certain point his shield hand, he points it out at like a small log on the ground, and a vine shoots out Spider-Man style to the log, and he yanks it into the air and then slashes with the blade, and even though the log is like 20 feet in the air, it gets cut in half as soon as Orym swings.
No way.
Boy got reach. Boy got reach.
No.
And he just quietly is smiling at...
Ooh, new sword abilities. Very nice. And we learn later in this episode that he has decided to call it Seedling the Wayward Pilgrim. This sword was originally given to Orym by his husband Will, so I really like this way of upgrading it so that Orym is not going to be left behind by not having a magical sword, and he doesn't have to give up this very like sentimental item. So I think that was a very clever way of giving him a magic weapon without asking him to give up his current one. Uther the Werebore chats with Orym about his sword and tells him that he was originally part of the Claret Order in the Savalier Wood in Wildmount. As a refresher, the Claret Orders are a group of hemocraft practitioners like blood hunters and blood clerics. Gurge, who we met earlier in Campaign 3, was originally part of that order, and several members that we met in Campaign 2 were either members or former members. And the Savalier Wood is, of course, home to Campaign 2 favourite Caduceus. Chetney later learns from Annalene that Uther left the Order because he did too much damage, perhaps alluding to him losing control and hurting or killing the people there. Meanwhile, Laudna asks Fern to help her learn how to make something go boom with fire, pointing to a new spell that Laudna got in her level up, Fireball. Ah, such a classic. Fern helps her to learn how to cast it and
as you blow, you open your eyes just in time to see the very tips where the connections of your fingers are. There's this faint orange glow between them. And as you separate them slightly, all those little tips of glow go fit into one small little bead. And you blow it, and it just kind of drifts like a fast-moving mote on the wind.
Oh, it's tiny.
Okay.
Over towards you, Fern.
Oh, right.
It's a little one.
Mister, just grab it.
He chomps on it. An explosion of flame completely engulfs both him and Fern in a 20-foot radius. All the nearby...
she does 25 points of fire damage to Fern. I don't think Marisha was actually expecting to cast the spell fully and roll all of those damage dice, but why not just throw a fireball at your party members? Fern, in her blunt and no-filter way, asked Laudna how it feels to be alive again. Laudna says it's good, she's grateful, but she is feeling a little worried that Delilah might still be lingering somehow. There might sort of be this sliver of her left. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that Delilah is still in there somewhere. We're either going to see a showdown with her later when the characters are higher level and they dispatch her for good, or she's going to show up in Campaign 4 as, like, I don't know, a redemption paladin or something. She will just be the character who never dies. And while they're all getting their little training montages in, Ashton asks Annalene for some, tips and tricks on how to use their hammer.
Both you and Annalene kind of finish up the session. She's breathing a little heavy. Not too bad. I think you might have some talent within you.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for my friend. He's a fucking mess.
Yes, he is. But we all were. And she kind of looks at some of her compatriots. We all are.
I do really enjoy when we see the level ups expressed in the game like this, because it is sort of, when you're thinking narratively, a weird thing of like you went to sleep and then the next day you woke up and you knew how to do all of these things that you couldn't do the day before. So I like how they try their best to sort of work in narratively those skills developing and growing. The skyship arrives and they get picked up and resume their journey to Yios. We get a nice little moment between Orym and Chetney when Orym gives Chetney the wolf that he had started carving. This was the wolf that he pulled out last week in an attempt to quell Chetney's beast form, wolf form thing.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we were able to help you figure things out. I don't love you coming after me so regularly, but we'll deal with it. Anyway, I just want to say I'm glad you're with us.
Orym, you're one of the bravest people I know. It's incredible. You're so young and handsome. This is truly awful. It's really, really bad. But look,
True.
It's the thought that counts. And if you just stick with it for a couple hundred years, we could refine this into something that could be a paperweight.
It's not even paperweight worthy now?
Not yet.
Chetney's got high standards, ouch. And we get to see a shot of Sam's gas can, which has Sam's Hanukkah wish list. The wish list says a mirror that only reflects me, personal sommelier, new fake Sam, less sexy, teeth enlargers, new friend, less famous than me, Chateau Lefty Rothschild, 1958, duet with Dolly Parton, and world peace. Wow, a very humble list. Happy Hanukkah to anybody who's celebrating. They fly over the city of Corio, the Hablon River, the Shallowlands, Lake Curon, which Yios is built upon, and the fishing village of Arawat. Yios is also known as the City of Flowing Light because of this effect that is happening with the water at dusk and at nighttime, where the water is glowing with this blue magical energy, and the way that it's swirling is quite spectacular. The lake itself is a 3-tiered lake dammed off, with the city built in rings upon these tiers. It honestly sounds so cool, although my mind was a little like I couldn't quite visually imagine what it looks like. So I really am looking forward to some fan art so I can wrap my head around this architecturally interesting city. They land at the Lake Cap Skyport and Lounge, and
We're going to go to break.
one of my favorite things about Critical Role is, of course, the many varied voices that Matthew Mercer uses for his NPCs. So I have set myself a little challenge today. I am going to try some different voices while I talk to you about today's sponsor, Only Crits. Okay, so the way that it's going to work is I've got my dice tray set up over here with some of my beautiful Only Crits dice. I'm going to roll a d6, and that will be the voice that I use for that portion of the ad read. I apologize in advance. Only Crits are purveyors of beautiful dice that come in a range of colors, sizes, and styles to suit your next D&D character. Perusing their website, you'll be able to find the perfect match for your style and aesthetic. All right, let's move on from that one very quickly, shall we? 4. Plus, if you've got a dice addiction that just won't quit, you can order one of their subscription boxes. You can sign up, and every month they will send you a brand new set of dice. Yeehaw! Come on, keep it together, lady. You got this. Oh no. Oh no, okay. Oh no. I don't think I can do this. I wrote this list. I have no one to blame but myself. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description and use the code LUNA at checkout to get 12% off your order. That's not right. Plus every purchase comes with a free D&D adventure. I have Scottish heritage. My ancestors would be so ashamed of me right now. Thank you, Only Crits, for putting up with my nonsense. Back to the video. I don't normally talk about what we see in the ad break because normally it is just the ads, but I have to talk about the fact that the Legend of Vox Machina Season 2 trailer finally dropped, the full trailer. I will be posting a reaction video to that trailer, but I really wanted to do it with Jared, and he hasn't finished Season 1 yet. We're going to be finishing Season 1 this week over on my Twitch channel. I think this video might be coming out after that, but follow me on Twitch because we will also be doing watch parties for Season 2 as well as reaction videos. So yeah, anyway, stay tuned for more Legend of Vox Machina content, more of Jared's ignorant commentary on Critical Role. It's going to be great. So back to the episode, they meet a really fun character, Port Captain Lyrios. Lyrios? I think it's Lyrios.
Well, we have daily rates for docking here in this skyport, and we also have a weekly rate. So if you want to pay in advance, it's cheaper if you get the entire weekly rate as a bulk, and we can take it day to day from there if you think you're going to be staying around long enough. Otherwise, you're looking at about 10 gold a day docking fee or about 50 for the entire week.
I was really hoping that they would talk to this character more just so I could hear this voice more and watch all of their reactions. They head into the lounge, grab some drinks, and discuss their upcoming plans. There is kind of this exciting feeling about them being in a new city, and as an audience member, I am also so excited for them to get out and explore. Although Imogen is a little flat, maybe a little stressed, because she's in a city again for the first time in a while. All of those thoughts kind of rushing into her mind again, I imagine, is quite stressful. And also she is just very hung up with thoughts about her mother and what it all means with the moon. So she's feeling kind of under pressure, understandably. But the party spends some time in the lounge. There are lots of people here sort of either like just hanging out, having some drinks, or they're doing some gambling or getting in some conversations. So Ashton, Fern, and FCG head upstairs to see the tables up there, and while they do so, FCG casts Detect Thoughts, and Matt essentially gives them like a telepathic version of a quest board. There's talk of something hunting fish along the Wine Pebble shore, Stratos spies being captured at Doan. I love that Critical Role is sort of beyond the idea of like a quest board now. It's not really something I think that's even ever come up much in this campaign, but I liked this version of it. And I also loved Laura's little nod to that too.
You kind of drift past another mind.
Task has been added to your mission.
Meanwhile, downstairs, Laudna hatches a plan with Chetney.
You see, Pate. Hi, Pate. We've been chatting a little bit because he's got a little special ability where he can go invisible. And I can see through Pate's eyes, and then I could send you messages. So, just, if there's anything in terms of like looking at other people's cards or looking, to stack the deck, as they say in the gambling world. Do they say that? I don't know, but I'm really excited. I'm sorry.
This is brilliant. However, no fun Orym and Imogen convince them that it is a bad idea. And you know what? I guess they're right. But I really wanted to see those shenanigans go down. Probably not good to get kicked out on the first night. However, then later on, they do behave in a way that I think was also very silly and dangerous in terms of getting kicked out. But we'll get to that. They do decide to get in on some gambling action though, just without cheating. And they play a game called Fork of the Storm. So here are the rules. Basically, you're trying to get the highest total. The dealers and the players all roll a hidden d8, and then you can call, raise, or fold. Then they all roll a d6 in the open. There are another round of bets, then they roll a d4 in the open, and then there is the final betting round, and then they all reveal their d8s, add up all the dice, and the highest total wins. If you get doubles on any dice, then you get to roll an additional d4 at the end and add it to the value. So it sort of has this like exploding mechanic. There was this really funny moment in this scene where FCG, not wanting to leave it to chance, casts divination to ask the change bringer if he should fold. Such a silly use of that spell, but I think that is actually also the first time that FCG has tapped into magic directly related to the change bringer. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm sure we're going to see more of that as FCG has access to those higher power divine spells, divination type spells. Chetney actually comes out of this gambling session pretty well with about 500 gold. The party continued gambling for a while, and I love how Matt put a little like stopper on it. He's like, we can do a couple more games, but then we need to move on, because they're all just like, we could just do this for the rest of the night. So they eventually get a room and ending up paying full price because of FCG and Fern's poor persuasion rolls.
Room 14.
Thank you.
Enjoy your stay.
Okay.
She immediately turns back around and goes back to look busy at other things, even though there's nobody else at the desk.
And tomorrow we see a TikTok of Fern berating the person.
Karen Watch 2022.
He's over here like, no, it's all right. I'm trying to get your room for you.
Before they head up to their room, they are approached by an Unia man, a orc and elvish lineage, Landon Critrole. I always write down the NPC names, and then I really need to remember to write down the like pronunciation notes because I can never remember. So Landon says that he can show them around town, he can be their host or their guide, and he could also make them any sort of introductions that they might need, like business introductions, give them sort of the lay of the land here in Yios. And for some reason, they all start showing off to him. I believe it is Laudna who says that they are a performing troupe, and then Orym just starts doing Cirque du Soleil stuff with his sword and his new like vine abilities. Laudna is using pate, and I love that they were like, we've got to lie low, we can't do anything too wild, and then they just put on this whole show in the casino. Imogen in particular is quite suspicious of this fellow, but she rolls a 20 on an inside check and surmises that they're sort of looking for marks in terms of like easy people to make money from, but not necessarily going to screw them over or rob them or anything like that. So they decide that they will hire him. They're going to meet up with him the next day. They head up to their room, which is very swish. I was feeling a little jealous. I would like to go on a little getaway to Sky Cap Lake Lounge. What is it called? Skyport Lounge holiday. After a lot of discussion about shrimp, which, you know, I'm not going to recap for that for you. You can go and look at that if you want. Ashton has a conversation with Pate.
I just wanted to say that when we took the Laudna head vacation, we saw the beginning idea of you, like the baby idea, and we really care about her, and it's important to keep her safe. And
I agree.
Yeah, and I know you're going to be a lot of help there.
Yeah, all costs. Gotta keep her safe, keep her alive, keep her kicking.
Yeah, and
she goes, I go.
Well, yeah, and I'll just say, just so that we're all clear, and I'm really happy that you're going to be helping.
Hey, I'm real happy. Are you happy?
Well, since you appeared at a rather interesting moment in our reality, if that's you in there, Delilah, I swear to fuck that I will murder you if anything happens to her. And I'm watching.
What?
Are we clear?
Okay.
All right, otherwise we're good. Just thought that should be there. Protect her.
Yeah. All will.
I like you.
I enjoy how Pate is getting to be like a full NPC character in this. I think Matt is very good at bringing him out at good times that are not too annoying. He would absolutely be way too annoying if he was around all the time. But he just adds so much to the scene. I don't know. I love to hate him because he reminds me of a creepy old man, and I don't like that, but I love to hate him. Chetney, demonstrating some more of that character growth, shows a lot of compassion and tenderness for Imogen and runs her a hot bath, saying that she seems, stressed, seems like she could use some relaxation time, which I think was really kind and sweet. However, Imogen takes this as another opportunity. She casts invisibility on herself, jumps out the window, and starts flying up over the city.
I'm gonna fly up and go up above the city and look down at everything. Look down at the lake and take in the lack of sound in my head, and I'm gonna cast sending and try to contact my mother again. I'm in Yios. Are you here? I know you want to stay distant, but please, I need guidance. Please.
45 grueling seconds of silence before your mother's voice comes back through towards you. If you're there, then you need to stay there. Stay safe. I understand the need for answers, but it's a real dangerous journey. She casts sending towards you.
Ooh.
I've given up so much to keep you safe. At the end of it all, that's all I want. Please.
Mother, this storm is coming. If you keep running from me, I'm afraid I'm gonna get swept up in it. I know I'll find you in the end.
If you keep running towards me, you'll definitely end up swept up in it. Imogen. Run.
I don't respond.
Just some more vague answers from Imogen's mom. Give us something to work with, please. It's just going to make it even more dramatic when we do eventually meet her in the game. Finishing the day with a long rest and some pleasant dreams, they wake for their first day in the city of Yios. They meet up with their host Landon, who starts leading them to the Eidolon seminary. If you will recall, that is where a lot of the Ruidist stuff is going to go down in terms of information gathering and learning about the study and learning about Imogen's mother. And while he's leading them, he is pointing out landmarks and giving a little bit of a history of the city. Yios is a primarily orcish city. Yios is a primarily orcish city known as a place of study and scholarship. Much of the city was damaged during the Apex War, but it has been rebuilt and beautified as part of the Phoenix Project. The city is divided into 3 rings. The Dominion Ring, which houses a lot of the government and official buildings, as well as the schools, colleges, sort of the places of study, including the Eidolon Seminary. The Endeavor Ring, which is the center ring, which is the place of business and merchants and markets. And the Venture Ring, which is the lower ring, and it's where most of the residential housing is, as well as the fishing docks. They arrive at the seminary, which is made up of 3 main buildings. They're sort of connected by walkways, and there are walled gardens and courtyards. And as they approach the main building, they're heading up these stairs, and there are these gargoyles upon the building.
There's a sound that pierces the air.
Oh no.
What?
I'm gonna glance up, and there's like these gargoyle creatures that are built up on the side front of the building, but they're perched up. In the back of the shadow, you see some sort of avian creature that begins to curve its head out of the shadow. You see this long, hooked, kind of somewhat scar-gnarled beak. This kind of cloudy eye, patches of missing feather.
Right now.
Get inside right now. You know what's wrong.
This is not.
It immediately trains in on you.
Why do
You gotta
inside
be
right now? No! Wow!
And that's where we're gonna end tonight's episode.
Oh my god!
Thought I could run.
That's the only way you could end an episode this ridiculous.
I just legitimately. Oh
No,
my
I've
god.
seen. Wait, what? Wait, Shithead is real? Are you kidding me? Okay, Wild, let me know your shithead theories in the comments. Personally, my favorite one that I've seen floating around is that this bird creature is some kind of assassin drone from Aor that Aor developed to counter the murder assassin robots, which is what FCG is one of. And so it woke up around about the same time as FCG did and has resumed its mission to track the assassin bot down. Matt didn't really describe it as being robotic in any way, but I like that theory. I think it's fun. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. It seems so silly, but I'm really excited that maybe we will learn something about FCG's past in Aor, because I'm so fascinated by that. That whole time period, the Age of Arcanum, is so fascinating to me. I'm really hoping we're going to get extra content like EXU, Calamity. We're going to get more content like that to expand that part of the world, because yeah, I love it. And let me know what you think is going to happen next week. Personally, I'm hoping that we're going to learn a lot of information about Ruidus. It's going to bust this thing wide open. We've been in a lot of vague rumors and shadows, and I'm hoping that we're going to get some like solid concrete stuff. And now it's time for theory time. So this is a theory that didn't actually originate in my YouTube comments, but I'm seeing it brought up a lot in my comments. It's actually from Reddit. It's from user Lucas. It's a very big and long post, which I will link below in case you want to check it out. But basically it talks about this theory that, well, we basically have to go back to Exandria Unlimited Prime, like the first season of Exandria Unlimited, when Orym was given a seed. He was given a seed by this figure that lived in this city that was basically a like pre-calamity city. So we can assume that potentially this seed is something ancient or is tapping into some, some of that ancient magics or ancient artifacts. And he was told to make this seed grow. And we also saw in Exandria Unlimited a tree of names, which cast a spell across Exandria, protecting it essentially. And of course we saw that tree be destroyed. So the theory is that Orym needs to plant this seed somehow, and that maybe it's going to tie into the Apogee Solstice, because the Apogee Solstice also played a big part in Exandria Unlimited Calamity, that he's going to plant that seed and grow a new tree of names, which will cast a new protection spell over Exandria. Pretty cool. I like that theory. It's interesting that Orym has not brought up that seed again. It does make me wonder if Liam has forgotten about it. I mean, I don't think so, because they're all professionals at what they do. But yes, I'm wondering if we will see it come out at some point in the future. So just a little note about next week. When I was planning out my content schedule, I just assumed that there wouldn't be an episode next week. I don't know why I just assumed that. I think because it's so close to Christmas. So I didn't actually plan for making a video next week, and I have a lot of family things on during the holidays. So I will, of course, be covering next week's episode. My breakdown is probably just going to come out a bit late, probably the following week. The best way to keep up to date with my schedule and what's happening with my videos and my streams is to jump into my Discord. You can also follow me on Twitter. I usually am very active on there. Of course, at the moment though, Twitter is burning in a garbage dumpster fire. So hey, it might not even be around next week, but yeah, Discord is probably the best way to keep up, or to make sure you're subscribed so that you'll get the notification. I am still doing the pre-Critical Role hype party before the episode airs on Twitch. That's what I do now every week on Thursday night. I normally go live at about 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, and we sort of hang out for a couple of hours, chat about our theories for the upcoming episode, and we play some fun like Critical Role games and stuff like that. So yes, make sure you're following me on Twitch as well. I want to say a big thank you to my patrons and to my YouTube members. Welcome to new member Rach, and a special thank you to Yasha, Admiral, Tony, Mark, Gemini, Chad, Rob, and Baron B. And I want to give a really special thank you to all of you. It has been a wild year, or over a year now, just over a year on YouTube covering Critical Role. This time about a year ago, I think I had about 1,000 subscribers. I was kind of floundering around a little bit on YouTube, not really sure what I was doing, and we've just come like really far in the last year. So yeah, I always get really gushy around the holidays. It's my favorite time of year. I love the holiday season, so forgive my gushiness, but yeah, I really just want to say a huge thank you so much to all of you. Every video, I feel like I'm getting closer to my goal of being able to make this my full-time gig, so that I can make more videos and invest more time in my streams and do more sort of overarching content for this channel, like lore videos about Exandria, deep dives into like little niche parts of the world and the lore. So thank you. If you are celebrating, I hope you have a happy and wonderful, safe holiday season. And if you're not celebrating, I hope you have a happy, wonderful, and safe time nonetheless. And I'll see you all really soon. Bye!
Next morning, hey Chet.
Huh?
I don't know if you remember.
Wait, can you uncuff me?
Having an awakening, Chetney. Hold on. Do I have keys?
They're under my body.
All right.
Oh,
It's Velcro. You just pull.
don't tickle now.
Keeping it together, Popeye.
Oh, thanks.